Alright fellas, before we dive into today's 5-play free mini scheme, I do want to mention I have a new partnership with Madden.com. I can get you a discount off of your initial monthly subscription with them if you use my affiliate link and my discount code in the description. He has full ebooks available on there. Ericrayweather is doing ebooks for him on there as well. So check that out at Madden.com. Use the link in the description for a 10% discount. Or you can continue to support me on my Patreon channel, which is more mini schemes. I'm releasing one mini scheme every week. It's a little bit cheaper, but it's not nearly in depth as the full ebooks. CJ with Madden Doctor, back with another free tip for you. This is a professional grade play ran by the likes of Dubby. I had some footage on him from a tournament. This is what he's running right now. It's his absolute favorite play. Happens to be an Arizona Cardinals playbook. Cardinals playbook I've been diving deep into, not only on YouTube, but also in my Patreon channel. This specific play is out of the Arizona Cardinals playbook, but this same concept, the same idea, these same route combinations can be used with several different playbooks and a few different formations. The main thing you need is a post route out of this square receiver here on the left. And then just really any trips formation with the R1 similar route, because it creates a levels concept. But the setup is pretty easy. 3 adjustments. You're going to drag X, you're going to slant circle, and you're going to block your running back. That's going to cancel your play action. So drag X, slant circle, block your running back, leave the R1 and the square routes as is. You can put square on a smart route that shortens his post a little bit, but that is not mandatory. First up, I'm going to show it to you against a cover 2 drop. For those of y'all that don't know what a cover 2 drop is, that means this middle linebacker is in a mid-read. The mid-read zone is designed to take any vertical threat first. Pretty much eliminates the need, in my opinion, to put a deep blue middle linebacker on the field, but some people feel better and claim that it reacts a little bit better to have a deep blue. It's a little bit safer. But regardless, 9 out of 10 times people are using that part of the field anyways. So you'll see the deep mid takes the R1 route. 9 times out of 10, the user will take the R1 route, and that leaves the circle on the slant underneath, or you can wait a little bit longer and take X on the drag route. If your read is to take circle, just be mindful of the 2 linebackers underneath lurking. If you bullet pass, that can get picked or at least deflected, so make sure you double tap it or at least single tap it to throw a lob pass in there. It's actually a lot safer to wait a couple seconds and hit them closer to the sideline so you have greater separation. Be careful though, because if you do wait too long, this defender right here is in a soft squat, so he will take the deep threat first and start backpedaling towards circle. So take X on the drag always if you have it. Cover 2, especially stock cover 2, is not the way to beat this play or to stop this play though. You can actually beat cover 2 as is with no adjustments, just because that R1 receiver gets paired up with a linebacker. So I would say that this play is designed more to beat cover 3, to attack cover 3, just because the levels concept. So a lot of people like to run the 3-3-5 odd blitz that you've seen the pros running, and this is a great way to attack that. It is, however, a pretty tight window to hit that R1 receiver, so I always recommend against cover 3, especially if he doesn't have hard flats on the field, to take the X route. But you will find an opening with that R1 route. You just have to time it right. You got to get the feel of where to lead them exactly, and you can squeeze it in there. And then also go over a one-play money play out of this formation too. So as you just saw in those clips right there, fellas, it's an absolute cover 3 shredder, one-play money play over the top. All you have to do is motion in that square receiver, smart route him, and then slant your circle receiver, and he gets wide open right over the top. It's kind of silly how the safety reacts to this. He kind of stops and watches him get open, and then if you pass it, lead pass, and bomb it right at the right time, it's too late. And I also went ahead and made a play with the same motion. Actually, the rest of the plays in this scheme will have that same motion with the square receiver in to keep it uniform. The most basic setup is still motion in that square receiver, as we're going to do with all the plays in this scheme from here on out, and just block your tight end. So your read is going to be a high-low read between triangle and R1. But also, as you saw in those last 2 plays, gives you a delayed in route to the square receiver, which is really clutch, because if he takes away triangle, he takes away R1, it's going to be hard to cover all three of these routes. So once again, this is the same formation. This is the wide drag play. The only adjustments are to block your tight end, the X player there, and move the square route in, just like the money play. Your progressions are going to be triangle always first. Then you're going to check to see if R1 is going to get open over the top, and then the last progression is going to be square coming over the middle. You can hit circle occasionally. You just really have to time it perfect, and it's a risky throw because it's underneath the safety over top of the linebackers. But here it is a few more times. There's just so many options with this play. You can do really whatever you want. You could put X on an out route and block your running back instead. That just gets someone out there a little bit quicker. I prefer putting him just on the flat route, get him out as quick as possible, and then it turns into a classic high-low read on the right side of the field. Basically a smash concept where that one corner is responsible for both X and R1. Do be careful though, because especially against a good linebacker, just like you saw there, they really do have some good pursuit this year in coverage. So make sure you hit him right out of his break, right when he breaks outside, and make sure you give him a good lead pass up and right towards the sideline. Like I said, so many options here for you franchise players. I really think the tight end is really valuable this year because the way the defenses just safeguard the deep part of the field, there's just so much open underneath slants and drag routes, which brings me to my next setup here. Get creative with it. You can drag your tight end even and put triangle on a streak. This is only blocking 5 though, so if you have someone that sends a lot of heat, I don't recommend this way, but if you get them out of blitzing and into coverage, this is just another great setup. Still motion square and keep it looking uniform with the PA shot cross play, and just drag your tight end and streak your running back. Alright, so continuing on with this full 5-play money scheme, let's dive back into the Y trips weak formation. Just remember, fellas, if you like this 5-play mini scheme, if it's helping your Madden game out, go on over to Patreon and you'll get more out of the same formation, more plays every single week. I'm dropping new mini schemes, or you can purchase full ebooks through smartmadden.com with the link in my description. So I would set up the audibles. Stick is always good to have. So I messed up when recording this live. You actually want to put Y drag in the audible position where stick is. So that's going to give your audibles Y drag up top. Replace outside zone with the mid draw play, because the mid draw play is going to be a clutch play in our scheme. You can leave 4 verticals or change it to a play you like better. And then this last position, I would put something like corner strike, or if you're going to join me on Patreon, there's going to be about 3 or 4 more plays out of the same formation, so you might want to use one of those plays in that last audible spot as well. But let me dive into it. Let me show you the third way to set up Y drag with a slightly separate motion, but this motion is going to be the same for the halfback draw play, and it's also going to be the same for the third or the 5th and final play in this formation scheme. So here's the halfback draw first. Actually, I'll show it to you with the motion. You're going to want to snap it when the receiver is almost to the center, because he runs right up the field and becomes a lead blocker. He usually takes the linebacker or the safety out of play, which is clutch for most runs. Just be careful. You can cause a fumble if you snap it when he's directly behind center, so be mindful of that. But you can snap it when he's to the right or the left. Just motion snap him and he turns into a lead blocker running upfield. You can even put a tight end there if you really want to get slick, and have someone with better run blocking right there. But that's the halfback draw play. That's pretty clutch to this scheme. Keep them honest, keep running up the middle, and that's guaranteed for a good 4 to 6 yards. Next up in the scheme is a slightly different way to run that same PA cross shot play, and here's the setups for that. I like to streak X. I still like to slant circle, although I forgot to here, and then move R1 to the left. That's going to tie in with a few different plays, including the halfback draw I just showed you, and then the next setup of Y drag. That motion is going to tie right in, but I would streak X, slant circle, and then motion R1 to the left. It's your choice if you want to leave the play action on or not. I like to cancel it just to be safe and block the running back. and you can hit R1 up the field. It's surprising how open he gets. You do have to be a little bit careful. Hit him as soon as he cuts and lead pass it up, because that safety maybe 1 out of 10 times can try to jump that route. So hit him right there before he cuts out and lead pass up to make sure you're getting over that cornerback's head. And just remember, if you run into someone that's over committing to the run, to that halfback draw play, you can always leave the play action on and then block X instead. You don't need him on that streak for this R1 route to get open. Next up, I want to dive back into the Y drag play, and we're going to use the same slot receiver in motion, Jarvis Landry here to the left. That's going to create a post route over the middle, and we know how effective that is. And then you have a few different options what to do with triangle or X. You can block triangle and streak X. This works out pretty good, except for you have to wait a little bit for R1 to get open. It's going to get open in that deep third on the right side of the field. Or you can block X and leave the running back on the route, which seems to take the attention of the middle linebacker more when you do it this way. Let me show you. So you can block X and leave triangle on his little swing route, or his C route, whatever you want to call it. And that leaves R1. It kind of takes the attention of both middle linebackers, and R1 gets open more towards the middle of the field. And then also this way with the extra blocker, if your opponent decides to send a blitz, to send one of the linebackers or the corners on a blitz, it's really going to leave somebody like Duke Johnson a lot of opportunity to get open, wide open to the right for a big gainer. That's it for today's 5-play money scheme, fellas. If you want to support me further, if you want more schemes like this, head on over to Patreon. It's $2.99 a month. I got 4 schemes on there, mini schemes every single week. I'm releasing a new scheme. Also, check out smartmadden.com. The link for that is in the description. I hope you enjoyed today's free scheme and enjoy the rest of your Madden season.